Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be going over how to improve your shotgun gameplay in Fortnite. About a month ago, I made an aim tip video that was mainly focused on how to properly take advantage of aim assist. And at the end of that video, I asked you guys to share what specific aspect of aiming you most struggle with in Fortnite. So I read over a bunch of those comments, and probably the most common thing I saw is that a lot of people struggle with shotgun aim specifically. And I can totally understand why that's something that so many people want to improve on. Close range shotgun fights are without a doubt the most important and most aim dependent fights in all of Fortnite. No matter how great your IQ, positioning, and building are, you're simply going to have to be able to win a 50-50 shotgun fight every once in a while. And especially if you land in super populated towns with a lot of buildings like Tilted, Retail, or Pleasant, you're going to really struggle to survive even the first few minutes of a game if you aren't able to consistently hit shotgun shots. So hopefully this video will help you guys do exactly that, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so if you've watched any of my aim tip videos or just shotgun tip videos in general, you've probably heard some of the more basic / common shotgun tips out there. You don't really ever want to aim down sights, you always want to position yourself to where you can take advantage of left side peeking, always aim for the head, try to stay mobile at all times in those close range fights, and try to avoid as many 50-50 shotgun fights as possible by using your builds to block shots. Even though those tips are basic, I don't want to make it seem like they aren't incredibly important. What I commonly see with my friends who are just casual players trying to improve is that for the first 2 to 3 games after I tell them, they'll make an effort to implement tips like that into their game. But after those first 2 to 3 games, they kind of forget to keep doing it, and it'll eventually just fade out of their gameplay entirely. So even though those things may seem super basic, don't just gloss over and forget about them, because if you don't have the fundamentals down, the more advanced shotgun tips I'm about to show you won't really be able to help you as much. Alright, so as I'm sure you guys know, one of the most important skills to have to be a great shotgun player is the ability to consistently hit headshots. Especially now with any pump blue rarity or higher doing 200 plus headshot damage at point blank range, it's now more important than ever to prioritize headshots over body shots. But obviously, that's a lot easier said than done. So here's a really simple tip that if you guys can master, I guarantee it will help you hit more shotgun headshots and also just generally be more accurate. A mistake that so many players make is that they keep their crosshair positioned way too low whenever they're running / walking around in game. I'll explain what I mean by that in a second, but first I want you guys to watch this clip from my friend that I think illustrates the problem very well. I'm gonna zoom in and slow the clip down a bit so it's a little easier to follow. I want you to really focus on the positioning of his shotgun's crosshair here, and also what he does when he actually goes to take the shot. What you just saw in that clip was basically a textbook example of how that bad habit of keeping your crosshair too low while moving will have a major negative impact on your shotgun aim as a whole. Because that player kept his crosshair so low while running forward, he was basically lined up with his enemy's foot when he ran through the door and they first came face to face. Now, I've told my friend about 1,000,000 times that he should be going for headshots in every shotgun fight he gets into. So instead of just shooting the foot, he instead goes for a last-second semi-flick shot towards the enemy's head. It was a valiant attempt, but as you guys saw, that play ended up resulting in a 21 damage shot with, I believe, 2 out of 10 total pellets hitting. If you keep your crosshair position too low while engaging in shotgun fights, you're going to be forced to make a choice between 2 less than ideal options every single time. You can either keep your crosshair low and just go for body shots, or if you want to go for a headshot, you'll do the same thing my friend did in that clip and basically gamble your life on a last-second prayer flick shot. Also, think about it like this. If you keep your crosshair at body level or below, when you see an enemy, you're going to need to first adjust your aim left and right so you're lined up horizontally with that enemy, and then second, adjust your aim up and down to try to hit a headshot. However, if you can get into the habit of always keeping your crosshair at head level even while you're moving, you only need to worry about adjusting left and right. This not only makes aiming with shotguns easier and leads to more headshots, but it also makes it so that you don't need to do those split-second flick shots, which are very difficult to consistently hit on controller/console. So now, here's another clip from the same player that was in the first clip, but this time he's going to keep his crosshair at head level even while moving. And again, pay attention to the crosshair placement here, and also just how much easier and smoother it all looks compared to the first clip. This issue of keeping your crosshair too low while moving is way more common than you probably think it is. I've noticed that it's pretty much a natural thing for the majority of players to do. It's funny because whenever I give people this tip to instead keep it at head level, I get told that it feels really weird and almost like you have a new line of vision that makes it harder to see in front of you. That's okay, if you're doing it correctly, it will seem annoying at first, but eventually you will get used to it. And keep in mind, a lot of you guys have probably been playing Fortnite for over a year now, which means for over a year, you've been running around with your crosshair at leg/feet level. So it's going to take a lot of focus and effort to correct that problem. You can't just pay attention to it for 2 to 3 games and then expect your muscle memory to be fixed just like that. So now that we've fully covered that super important tip for shotgun aim, let's talk about the Tfue Classic/Tfue Special. This technique is another more advanced type of shotgun tip that's so important to learn when it comes to taking that next step as a Fortnite player. For those of you guys that don't know what the Tfue Classic is, it's basically a technique done when you have about 2 to 3 levels of high ground over a player and you want to shoot them with your shotgun. And how you do it is you take a shotgun shot while jumping forward and then place a connected floor piece under your feet so it catches you and stops you from falling. And there are 2 main reasons why this is such an effective technique. One, because you're able to get off shots while still keeping high ground over your enemy, and 2, it enables you to shoot from angles which may not have been possible by just sitting on top of that high ground. My explanation of specifically how to do it may not have been the best, so here's a quick little clip that's a much more solid example. So yeah, the Tfue Classic is something that you'll see me do in my gameplays all the time. It's probably a little bit easier on PC, but it's definitely totally doable on controller as well with at least a little bit of practice. It actually used to be harder a few months ago because of the shotgun delay that was added at the beginning of Season 5, but it's a little easier now mainly because of the Builder Pro builds instantly setting. And the final thing I want to cover in this video today is a super quick discussion on sensitivity related to shotgun aim. So since you're really never going to be ADSing with a shotgun, the only sensitivity that matters is your X sensitivity and your Y sensitivity. I get comments all the time asking questions like, I play on 8.8 sensitivity, is that too high? Or I play on 5.55, is that too low? So here's my general advice when it comes to X and Y sensitivity for shotgun aim and just general non-ADS aim as well. Even though X and Y sensitivity goes from 0 to 10 in Fortnite, I would guess that the vast majority of really good controller players play on somewhere in the range from 6 to 8. That doesn't mean all of them, but definitely a lot of them. Does that mean that you need to play on 6 to 8 X and Y sensitivity? No, it doesn't, but I would definitely recommend it. And especially now that you can have a custom building sensitivity with the building sensitivity multiplier, there's nothing wrong with playing on something like 6.6 and just making your building sensitivity higher. However, I would say that the bare minimum for X and Y sensitivity is probably right around 5.5. Anything lower than that, and it's simply too low to be able to track sprinting and jumping players in close-range shotgun fights. It may sound a bit odd, but here's how I kind of helped my friend find the best sensitivity for him. I made him start on 6.5, 6.5, and then just had him move either up or down by 0.5 at a time, depending on if he felt his sensitivity was too slow or too fast. But if you get to a point where you're at 5.5 and you still feel like you can't control it, I would recommend struggling until you get used to that rather than going lower and into the 4s. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down the comment section below. This video was about improving your shotgun aim in Fortnite, so I want to know, what do you think about your own personal shotgun aim? Is it a strength in your game, a weakness, or something in between? Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.